It has a little bit of delay.
This one's not.
Yeah, what it just hello. We're about to go live. All right, we are live. Hello. We're super excited. We are here at the SESH Coworking Space at 2808 Caroline Street. Today is Monday, November 11th. Nope, not November 11th. Wait, is it November 11th? Yes, it is November 11th. I'm like already forgetting what day I'm on here. And we are super excited to be here. We are joining y'all today again in the Midtown area. SESHCO is one of our sponsors. And just as a reminder that if you're ever interested in coming and touring SESHCO Working Space, you can do so. You don't have to be just a creative. If you're also a business professional and looking to kind of step outside of your box, we encourage you to come and tour, and they'll also give you a little gift after you tour. So we're super excited about being able to partner with them at SESHCO Working Space. And again, it's 2808 Carolina Street here in Houston, Texas. Of course, our wonderful guest, Carmen Landrau, is going to be here today with us, and we're super excited about that. She is a cardiologist, a professional speaker, and also one of our wonderful panelists from Las Metameras Fest, which happened this year back in August. So if you didn't get a chance to see her or watch her or listen to her this past August at Las Metameras Fest, we'll get a chance tonight. So we're excited about that, but we got a lot to cover, and I'm going to try to make sure we get any comments here. So if you drop in the live, drop a comment, say hello, let us know that you're here. We want to know that you're here. We want to know we're attending to you and your questions and making sure we get all those answers to you. So community events, we got a lot. So the biggest community events that are happening this week is College Day, Co-working Day here at SESHCO. They are bringing the opportunity for college students to come and work here for a discounted rate. And if you're interested, or have a sister or brother, or I don't know, somebody that's UH, Rice, TU, you name it, come here, they can have a day to work. They're also going to start starting this Wednesday, November 13th, is Women's Work Wednesday here at SESHCO Working Space, which is an opportunity for women to come and also do some uh, co-working here with the college kids. There's going to be more to that. And if you have any questions or need more information, you can always check out our website, which is www.vamonos.com, or also co-working space as well. Their calendar is on their website as well. Another cool thing, just as a reminder, November 21st, which is not this week, it's next week, they're going to have their uh, Female Founders and Friends networking event, which happens every third Thursday of the month. Well, that is a lot to say. But just as a reminder, come out and join this networking event. It's free. It's an opportunity for you to connect with like-minded women, business professionals, and also women who are interested in connecting with you as well. That's how I met the wonderful ladies here at SESHCO. And so it's definitely full of opportunities. Another thing is Jolt Action. As you can see my shirt, Arriba las mujeres. Jolt Action is going to be hosting an event this month on November 16th from 11 to 2. I will be there. I'll be in person. As some of y'all know, I am one of the artists in residence for Jolt Action, Jolt Initiative. And it's going to be an in-person networking event. There'll be a panel discussion, and then they'll also have a small business market as well, which is called Dia de las Chingonas, Latina vendor market. So there'll be an opportunity for you to support small businesses and also to support the local community. And this event's actually happening statewide because Jolt actually is a nonprofit statewide. So there's going to be here in Houston, here in San Antonio, and I believe Dallas as well. So that's a lot. So if you're ever interested in any of our community events, again, we have them on the calendar, on our website, and we will also share them in our stories as well. But we have a lot to share with y'all is that we want to make sure y'all get the information. I'm just making sure I didn't miss anything, y'all, because there's a lot. I don't think I did. So let's get to it because we have a wonderful guest, and we are, like I said, we're on Mexican time We started a little bit late today. We are because of the wonderful traffic, Houston. I don't know what's going on with y'all this evening. It was crazy. But we have a wonderful guest, which is Dr. Carmen Landrau. So we're going to bring her on. So come and join me. I feel like I'm gonna need like some merengues, I say, or some drums to bring in our guests. But yes, thank you so much for joining
Thank you for
me.
having me.
Yes, we're super excited because this is the trending cheeseness segment that we like to bring our guests on to kind of break the ice and also learn a little bit about you without having to ask you directly.
Absolutely awesome.
So we have some topics today that are trending in the interwebs. So trending here in Texas, trending all over, and also trending here in Houston. So let's get to them. And again, drop a line if you're here with us. Thank you so much for joining. I see Rosie. Thank you so much for joining, Rosie. And like I said, let us know if you have any questions, and we'll get to them. So, one more thing before I get started, and I definitely want to talk about this. And I don't know if you know this person, but I wanted to let y'all know that we are giving our condolences to the Magnolia Fund co-founder Marcel Garcia III, who lost his life this past week due to a firefight that he was dealing with in the warehouse in Houston. He is not only a leader here in the community, but he was also the co-founder of Magnolia Fund, which is here in Second Ward, and they are doing some really amazing things. And he was going to be a part of that, and he still is a part of that. Now his legacy means more than anything. So if you're not aware or not familiar, go check out Magnolia Fund. It's very important for us to talk about, this unfortunate life that has just been lost and leader that's been lost here in our community. So I did want to acknowledge that and give my condolences to those that have been suffering because it was a huge shock to our community, especially the Latino community. And also, I encourage others to, hey, we need to step up as well. We need to start stepping up. So, and then today's Veterans Day. So happy Veterans Day to all of our veterans out there, all those soldiers out there that risk their lives and, make those sacrifices for their families and for us so we can have our freedoms here in this wonderful country. So thank you so much for any veterans that are watching or that might watch this later on. But let's get to the trending cheese So I like to watch some TV. I know you're a doctor, but do you get to watch TV?
Very little.
Very little. Okay. So there's a new season premiered starting yesterday of this show called Yellowstone. Are you familiar with it?
This is about the founders of early settlers.
Well, there is one version
Okay.
that's the older the prequel to the show, but Yellowstone is about cowboys and Indians, but not Indians, present day
Right.
Indians, Native Americans. And it's with fabulous Kevin Costner. He's in it. They just started the new season. Those that are familiar, let me know if y'all watch the show. I am a huge fan because of Kevin Costner and his love for Native American culture as well. Like he's done great justice for that show. And to me it reminds me because there's some people that said nah they weren't interested they didn't watch it right on our polls. And if you're ever interested in chiming in on the trending cheesemate, you can chime in on my stories on Instagram. So they're not up right now, but after the live is over, you can chime in. Um, so the funny thing is, to me, it reminds me of a cowboy Native American novella. Like it's a very
It's a good story.
it's very
Storyline.
dramatic. And it's a very dramatic.
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of love. There's a lot of lust. There's a lot of hate. There's a lot of everything, and I'm just kind of like, so it's very telenovela to me. Like, there's just a lot going on. So if you haven't watched it, maybe that will make you interested. Do you have any shows though that you do watch that you get when you get a chance to watch them you like?
You know what I watch a lot? YouTube. And I
Yeah.
watch a lot of creators. I watch a lot of people, excuse me, who are doing all
Oh, okay. So the entertainment, the
the
decor,
entertainment,
the
the
lifestyle.
decor, the declutter. I like tables.
Yeah.
I like cooking. Of course, I'm getting now. I love cooking, but I love more entertaining.
Yeah, yeah,
That's yeah.
yeah. I love that. So that means if we go to your house, you've got a beautiful tablescape.
I would not have it right now because I'm getting it ready for Thanksgiving. But
Uh-huh.
if you tell me you're coming, even if you tell me you're not coming, I will make something for you and you will like it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's
Like,
nice.
sometimes how we say, there's nothing in the kitchen, there's nothing. I'll make a good meal with the nothing that we have.
Yes, yes,
I'll
yes.
find a way. I'll find a way.
You'll find a way.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I love that. Well, this kind of ties into some of that. So we just found out, or I just found out today that Houston is now one of the top tier ranking cities for vegetarians and vegetarian food, or like restaurants and opportunities. They're on, I believe they're the 18th in the
In the
country.
country.
Yeah, and that's something really cool. So as a doctor, what do you think about that as far as like for your heart health? What is it? Vegetables.
Vegetarian. Yeah. I'm
Vegetables.
not vegetarian.
Okay.
Very clear. But I do like to eat a lot of vegetables. And I like all kinds of vegetables. There's very few that I don't even remember what I don't like
Right.
because I like to eat a very varied meal. Eat all the colors of the rainbow.
Yeah.
Also in moderation. That's also what I believe. I think more moderation is more important than limiting some type of food.
Right.
And then, because then if you restrict too much, then you know what we do afterwards. We get tired of it, and then we binge on what we
Binge.
couldn't have. That's not
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was cool though. So if you're a vegetarian out there, just know Houston is on the map for one of the best vegetarian cities to eat from. So I thought that was very interesting. Um, I'm not a vegetarian either, but I do like vegetables. I just started to learn to like Brussels sprouts.
Oh yeah, I do. I like
Yeah,
them.
but you know what? They're really good only with bacon, and that's not vegetarian. That's not vegetarian.
Really?
Yeah, they're really good with bacon.
They are, but you don't eat them like that. You don't roast them and maybe
I've roasted them
a little
before, but
olive oil
I
or
like them
just
with
like that.
I like them with
You
the
like them with the
bacon.
bacon.
That's the reason why they're so good.
I don't ever telling me that.
I I just do. That's just my
Yeah.
preference. But that was super cool. There wasn't a lot of trending things happening, as y'all do know. One of the big trending things that were happening this past week was the election. We had the election results, and we're not going to get into that pretty much here. But I just want to give a PSA to anybody who watches here on our show, go ahead, to watch here on our show, that we definitely promote we, love and no hate speech, no negativity in that sense. And so we just want to continue to bring that platform here to y'all, to our community, specifically the Latino community. We definitely we keep that together to keep us as strong as possible. So I just wanted to kind of reference that. But obviously the election happened, and we're in for a very interesting 4 years ahead. But I'm really leaning into gratitude this month. Oh, my birthday was last week.
Right. I
I
saw it.
turned
I saw
40,
that.
42, and I've been telling people I'm leaning into gratitude for November, even though it's Thanksgiving, it's my birthday, and I encourage others to lean into gratitude this month as well, and the rest of this year, because it's so important to be thankful for the things that we have. Because I'm going to tell y'all, I don't know poverty. I don't. I don't know poverty. I don't know what it's like to not have food in my refrigerator, or to not have things in my refrigerator or food. And so at the end of the day, you have to be, thank you. You have to be very grateful for what we do have. And uh, I encourage others to watch our last episode as well. We talk a lot about abundance. So we're going to keep talking about abundance and bringing that into our atmosphere, into our community. So just so you know, lean into gratitude for the rest of the year. Be thankful. I know there's a lot of people that are, but as a Latino community, I don't know, like, do you feel like we lean into gratitude at times?
I think we do. I think we are people who are, first of all, because we have, as a group of culture, we have strong family values.
Mhm.
We are very
Right.
attached to our families. all kinds of generations, from your grandparents, great grandparents. If you're lucky and you met your great grandparents, oh my God, I met my great grandmother,
Oh,
and
wow.
it was amazing. And it's very common to have different generations in one household, but
Right.
you all grow knowing the elders. So I guess we learn from the elders the gratitude, and just like you said, the abundance, the mindset of abundance. It's not the material things; it's how you approach it.
Right.
And one thing I want to say, because last week, of course, we had all kinds of emotions, and for me, with people around me, all kinds of emotions. Some were happy, some were not. And I
Right.
think for anyone, I would say whether you're happy or you are not happy with the results, I would say the first thing you want to do, of course, gratitude. Give yourself and others grace and work on yourself.
Yeah.
If you are happy with the results, work on yourself so that you can give to others.
Yeah.
And if you're not, work on yourself so that you can learn and also give to others.
Yeah, I love that. I'm so glad you said that because it made me think of something that happened just this Sunday. And if y'all follow me on my personal page, I sing every second Sunday of the month at my church. And the sermon from the priest is about giving to others and about how, as a community, we have to be more generous in giving. That the scripture was specifically about how those that are sometimes the poorest of the poor will give their last seed, their last dollar, their last whatever. And I don't know if we do enough of that in our community, and not necessarily enough of that in our society now, currently now. I can't speak for everybody, but I can speak for myself that it really also encouraged me that, you know what, I need to give a little bit more because I know I can. And I know that at the end of the day, there's somebody that might need it more than I do. So glad you brought that up because we're, like I said, we're in this Thanksgiving period and gratitude. We need to really focus on those things of what we can do,
What we can do.
what we can
Absolutely.
do. Yeah. So as we chat along here, again, like I said, if there's anybody watching, please drop a line and say hello. We want to shout you out. I do see somebody here, a couple people. Salon Celeste Ontiveros, I see you. Thank you for joining us. And we like to start off the conversation also with a little bit of fun fact about yourself. So, do you have a fun fact about yourself that maybe somebody might not know or people might not know about you if they met you for the very first time?
You met me for the very first time. Oh my goodness. So I think my life is boring, but people tell me it isn't. Um, I dance to any rhythm.
Oh, okay.
Like I think I can.
Mm.
Whether it's true or not, I believe I can dance to any rhythm.
That's funny.
Whether you like it or not, that's a different story.
Right,
But
right.
I do like dancing. That's
Oh,
one
okay.
thing.
I wouldn't think that about you, that you were a dancer.
See,
See, so that is
I'm not a
definitely
dancer in the
right,
professional,
professional. Right, right,
but I can dance.
right. I
I
like
love
that.
dancing.
Do you have a favorite type of dance, like cumbia, salsa, merengue?
I love merengue. I love. I'm not great at salsa, and I say not great because being Puerto Rican, everybody dances salsa, and I don't dance as good as them. I, that's the reason why.
Uh,
Any kind of music, I will try it.
yeah.
You know what? I'm not good at two step.
Oh,
I can
yeah.
figure it out.
Two step, the polka. It's kind of like a polka.
I
Yeah.
guess I can.
Yeah.
Guess I've never done cumbia. I can do.
Yeah, yeah. That's awesome. I'm not a big dancer either, so I don't think I'd be in good company. I try. I'm not good at two step, but I'm good at line dancing. So I'm good at doing you like the line
I
dances?
don't think I
You
have
don't
ever done it.
you
I
don't
don't think I've ever done it. I might be.
what? Oh my god, we might have to get you to
Where
do
do
a
I
line dance.
live?
I
Do I
know.
live in Houston?
Yeah, because Houston, we do line dancing in Houston. Well, at least in some parts of
Right, in
Houston.
some parts of Houston.
Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Dr. Landrau. We're so glad to have you. I do see a Zindi on with us, so thank you so much for joining, Zindi. Um, for for those that don't know, Dr. Landrum has become such a great friend, and I would like to say motivational mentor to me. One of our next conversation, one of our last conversations we had was about you were just like motivating me. You're like, you can do this and you're great. And I was like, oh my God, where does this angel come from? Because I hadn't knew very little about what you do. So I want to say thank you so much for putting that seed in my head and just being that support system because it's hard sometimes.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
Totally get it.
yeah,
Yeah, it's hard when you're doing something different and there's nobody out there or not many people out there that you can relate to or that you can even touch, pat the shoulder and say, "Hey, I don't know how to do this,"
right.
or "Do you have any ideas?" It's very lonely. The entrepreneur world is very lonely, especially if you're a woman and again, Latina. I don't like to encase us in the Latina woman, but that's who we
Right, right.
are. Because there are things associated to our culture as well,
Yeah,
right? That
the
the
labels and
labels and may be a bit limiting if we allow it.
right.
But yeah, why would I not encourage you or any other woman out there who's trying to do something good that has a positive impact on people's
Yeah. Yeah, I appreciate that because it's been a journey for me, and I I was shocked when you were sending me all these good vibes. I was just like, okay, thank you, because like you said, sometimes it's hard, and you mentioned it's hard when you're on a journey that is not maybe someone's used to, right? So you yourself, you've been on that journey. You as a becoming a doctor, you becoming a cardiologist. Tell us a little bit about that journey and tell us a little bit about like some of those naysayers or struggles that you've had to overcome.
Well, I can actually go a little bit further back.
Okay.
Let's go back to when I was 12 years old
Okay.
and I started in sports. And depending on, there's this sports for girls, sports for boys.
Uh-huh.
That's not a thing. Sports are sports for everyone. But when you're doing something that people label as for girls or for boys, like the opposite, that's a problem in their minds.
Right.
And then you get all kinds of comments that are negative. They are trying to make fun of you, or they're trying to label you as something you're not. Um, trying to make you doubt yourself or make fun of you.
Yeah.
And if you allow it, it will have that effect.
Yeah.
And one thing I want to say, and now as a cardiologist, looking back, I'm very happy that I did my thing. I like to call it that. When I am focused on something, my mom would say I was stubborn. I like to say that I was.
She called you
She
stubborn. You
called me
say
stubborn. I would say I was persistent. But looking back, I was always the person who, when I wanted to do something, I just couldn't stop. I could not stop. I had to do it, go for it. And there were people in the way that were saying, well, that's not for girls, or you're this, you're that. Even for medical school, like I mentioned at Las Meras Meras, if you were there at Las Meras Meras, I share a little of my story, trying to encourage another person who had a question. And people will tell you, you cannot do it.
yeah,
They may say it as a joke, but honestly, that's not a joke. That's not a joke. That message has that little charge, trying to zap you into the opposite thing you want to do, and you cannot allow it. Uh, because what's wrong with doing sports? Hey, I'm doing something positive. I'm staying healthy. It's leading me into probably college. I did not get a scholarship back then. The sport was not recognized as an Olympic or anything, but I had a good community of people who we were all doing the same thing, and to this day, these people we stay in touch. The other thing was, of course, going to med school. What's wrong about going to medical school?
yeah.
But people feel like it's the right or it's a joke to tell you, "Oh, you'll never do it. You're not smart enough."
Or it's
Well,
too hard.
it's too hard. It's too expensive. And one day, I was presenting, and this young lady came to me with her mother. And she asked me if it was good for her to go to law school because she wanted to become a lawyer. But her family members were telling her that it was too expensive to not do it because it was too expensive.
Yeah.
And I had to tell her, look, one day you're going to go to school, you're going to become a lawyer, and you're going to go out, have your job, pay back those loans, pay back that money, whoever helped you, and pay back to the community. That's the best of it. And because eventually time will go by, 10, 12, 20 years will go by. You could have done it, you never did. And when you look back and you're like, wow, I never did, I never worked on my dream, I never did it. What would I be today if I had put the energy on accomplishing that?
No, and that is so true. And that's so important that we sometimes have to take a step back
Yes.
to listen to what is important because I think people think that, because things are hard, they shouldn't do it, and or they think that if they go a different route, it's gonna be easy, and
Yes.
that's not always the case, y'all. I'm gonna be real honest. Like, doing things that you want to do are probably gonna be a little bit easier than doing things you don't necessarily want to do, and I've had to learn that the hard way. As some of y'all know, I joke a little bit about how I used to work at Starbucks, and I always say I worked at Starbucks 4 years too long because I worked for Starbucks almost 9 years, and because at the time, I had that mindset of, like, it was easy, I
Yes.
knew it, I was comfortable, I was it was good pay, good benefits. Why would I go somewhere else to work do something that was gonna be harder, right? And I had to step out of that box to do it, and I did, and I'm so glad that I did because that's how I learned about the medical field. I ended up going into home health, and I worked in home health for about 5 years, which I loved, but it also is a part of my journey, right? The reason why I look at things a different way. That particular part of the beginning that was helped me. But when you we have this mentality also as Latinos that it's gonna cost so much, right? This I'm kinda going back to that abundance,
Yeah.
right? Like, why do not why, excuse me. What is something that you can encourage others to not think about the price so much? What would you tell that young lady as far as, okay, yes, it's gonna cost X amount of dollars, right? What else, though, could you tell her?
There are ways to do it. If you thinking of cost, if you are thinking about it, it's hard because let's face it, not everybody has the funds. Is there a scholarship for you? Is there a loan that you can take as a student that you can repay after you finish your career, you finish studying? Is there anything else you can do? Can you do a part-time job, maybe on the weekends, if possible? 'Cause some careers are not, you're
Right,
not able to do it,
right.
but the reality is some of them you can. Um, Sometimes you have to go with a little basket to your family members and say, "Hey, grandpa, you love me so much for my birthday or for Christmas,
Padrinos,
padrino,
madrinas.
madrina, right? Here's my basket. Please
Yeah,
contribute to the law school fund or the medical school fund or whatever it is. Maybe it's a business that you're starting and you need some money initially, like a restaurant or craft something. Go around, and there are ways of doing it. And yes, there will be obstacles. Absolutely, totally, there will be obstacles. I don't know anybody who has accomplished something that has not faced obstacles on the way.
yeah, that's so true. And it's so true too because we talk a lot about our community also, makes a lot of sacrifices. We know that our families growing up made a lot of sacrifices for us, and I think sometimes my generation, we forget that, hey, we gotta make some sacrifices at times. I'm a millennial, y'all, so sometimes I'm, a chiflada, I'm spoiled, like, I get it, like, but sometimes I have to understand I gotta make sacrifices
Yeah.
for my family as well, for my kids to get to where I wanna be as well. And but we gotta make the right sacrifices, right? And I know sometimes those sacrifices that we do make sometimes involve our health.
Yes.
So, as far as our health, tell us a little bit about, one of the things that I really appreciated that you shared at Las Meta Metas was that you talked about learning about the history of our family's health. Tell us a little bit about that for those that didn't get to hear.
Yeah, that's important. You have some factors that are modifiable and some risk factors that are not modifiable. And that's why it's important that you know your family history. The reason is because if you know that in your family, especially in the Latino community, there's a lot of diabetes. Your grandparents were diabetic or are diabetic, your parents are diabetic, you have a brother or sister and uncle, somebody who's diabetic. And I'm using that as an example. It could be cholesterol, it could be high blood pressure, it could be anything. You know that you may have a tendency to develop that condition. And that's why it's important that you know it because does it mean you're going to get it? No, it means that you need to start modifying early on so that you lessen the risks and eventually you may not even develop it.
Right.
You may have, you may be the daughter of someone who has breast cancer. Does that mean you will get breast cancer? Not necessarily. That's why we have to do studies, but we need to know the history because that information together with yours and the physical exam and the test that we do gives us a better picture to know, okay, this is where we are, this is the patient's risks, and this is how we can approach the patient's health.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's super important because I think that's something that I learned the hard not the hard way, but my mom lost her mother from breast cancer, and so that's kind of been something that's always been in my head, right? Like, knowing about my health, and then also my on my dad's side, heart disease was a big factor as well. One of the things also I learned from meeting Dr. Carmen Landrau was how important women's heart health is. Do you know when Women's Heart Health Month is?
February.
Ah, so it's
The
coming
heart month is February.
February.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's coming up in the near
it's
future.
coming.
So talk a little bit, share a little bit about what are some things that us Latina women can do to kind of start working on our heart health and in a positive way. What can we do? And also, I know that there are some factors that play into that as well.
The first thing I would say, your history, your own personal history. If you've ever had any condition, be aware of that. Please know how to treat it. If you're being prescribed medications, please take them. If you don't understand something, talk to your physician. There should be good communication between you and your physician. And if you don't feel comfortable, there's nothing wrong with a second opinion. Because sometimes we feel intimidated. As Latinos, we feel intimidated. We don't dare to ask questions. Please ask. Because the more you ask, the more you'll know, and the more you'll be able to work on yourself. So know your history, know your family history, and if you have any risk factors, please know how that affects you. Because we have a lot of people who either they smoke or they drink alcohol in excess, or they don't not exercising is another risk
Yeah,
factor, being said instead.
yeah,
So depending on how your lifestyle is, it's something that you need to know so that it will let us and you know, okay, these are the changes I need to make in order to keep my health.
yeah. Yeah, and that's important because I think I know this year, and I had joked about it a little bit on my stories, y'all. I was like, so I've gained some pounds, y'all. I've gained some weight, and it's because I've been sedentary and I've just been so focused on my business, and I've had to kind of like, okay, and then in my head, I got Dr. Landra on my head, heart health. You need to move. You need to eat the vegetables. You need to worry about check your high blood pressure, check your cholesterol. I encourage y'all if you ever get a chance to get to attend a conference or any type of health conference where she's at, go to it because
Thank you.
she tells you so much and shares so much information. And like I said, those that didn't get a chance to hear her at Las Meras, you inspired so many I know that were there, and you really just educated us, and I just appreciate that because there's so many that just tend to just kind of just go the basic like women's health, right? The well women's exams and the breast cancer, but heart health is just not something that we talk about a lot as women.
That's true. We don't talk about because we think that when we think of the heart, all we think is heart attack. We don't think of all the other conditions that happen in the heart, arrhythmias, heart failure, you name it, all these other conditions. But if we're talking about heart attacks, we still don't think that happens to women, but that's the number one killer of women in the world.
Wow.
1 in 3 women still die of heart disease every year. 1 out of 3 women. Imagine that.
Yeah.
And it's something that can be preventable. If you actually take action and you know your risk factors, you can prevent having a heart attack or developing high blood pressure or developing high cholesterol. All these factors that contribute to having a heart attack or heart disease.
Yeah. I think that still amazes me that those numbers are just still so shocking because, like I said, we probably think a lot of us women probably think, "Oh, breast cancer," right?
Right.
Or I don't know, something else, maybe lung cancer or something, or other type of cancer. But heart disease is
Heart
so
disease.
important. So you said Heart Disease Health Month is
February.
February.
Yes.
So any places that we can find additional information to kind of do some more research or education that we can give to our viewers out there. Obviously, we could listen to you all day, right? But I always tell people she's here to support and motivate, not necessarily to give you healthcare advice or healthcare treatment per se, right? We want to make that clear. She's here to help share her information, but you got to go to your doctor. You got to go talk to your doctor, talk to them, and find out what is best for your health. But as far as resources,
Resources. The first one will be your physician. First, your family. Get that information. Go to your physician. At least have a physical exam once per year.
okay,
Starting at from 20 years old, have a physical exam once per year with all your information. Give it to your doctor, and then learn what's going on with you. If you're healthy, great, we'll see you next year. If there's something happening, we'll take care of it right then and there. The other thing is go to reputable sources of information. In this day and age of quick, easy access to information, anyone can claim to be an expert. I don't even claim to be an expert myself.
Right.
I'm always learning because every day there's something new that comes out.
Right.
So, reputable sources would be these organizations that are either helping physicians with the guidelines or helping with research, like the American Heart Association, the American College of Cardiology. These are places that provide information not only for professionals, but also for people in a language that you will understand, because I cannot help you if you don't understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So if you go to something like mayoclinic.com or .org, Mayo Clinic, they have also information for patients. And many of them have in different languages, whether it's Spanish, Vietnamese, Chinese, you name it, they do have it. And I think it's important that we, as the patient, and I include myself, we take action. I want to take that first step in order to obtain the information, learn about my health, and then try to help myself with the help of my physician.
Yeah. No, I love that. So America, the first resources, or obviously your family, your
Your
doctor,
doctor.
and then the American Heart
American,
Association.
yeah, it's heart.org, HEART dot .org.
Awesome. Well, we'll definitely share those resources, and we want to also. We had a comment just come in here. Christina said, "Arriba, mujeres." Thank you. She's reading my shirt. Thank you so much for joining us on the live. We appreciate it. Um, but yes, those are important resources. We'll definitely share them. We are so honored to be able to have you again on this platform. We're such a fan of yours. We're such an inspiration for our Latina community as well to be a cardiologist and I know you say you're not an expert in your field, but you are that symbol of hope for a lot of other Latinas that want to be that lawyer, that doctor, whatever it takes to get that higher education. It's hard, y'all. It's really hard,
It's really hard.
and there we need more of women like you because there are a lot of us out there. There are a lot of us out there. So, just as a reminder, though, where can we support you and connect with you if we want to connect with you? Where can we find
You're watching me on Instagram right now, so
you?
my profile, you can go to my profile, it's Dr. Landrau, DRLANDRAU. I'm also on LinkedIn, same username, and on my website, drlandrau.com.
Well, we appreciate all the love out there. Let me make sure see if we got any comments. Cindy, I still see you're on. Christina, if you're still on, let us know if you have any questions or comments and we'll get to them. But we appreciate everybody that continues to support and watch us here on Let's Vamonos Live. This is now we're getting into the second episode of the month, and we've got more episodes to come and more guests to come. So definitely stay tuned for future episodes. And as a reminder, we go live every Monday at 6:30. I know it's Monday Night Football, but I know you ladies don't watch Monday Night Football. So get the wine, get the coffee, put the kids to bed, and come join us every Monday night at 6:30, either before dinner or after dinner, whichever one, and join us and join with our guests here as well. But do you have any last words of wisdom or anything else you'd like to share?
Your heart health is in your hands.
Awesome. Well, we appreciate all the love and support out there, but let's vamonos.
Bye.
Bye. We got